How good. Finally, we are getting a guest in, and it's all thanks to Westpac. Not just today, but every week we are going to be spotlighting a player in the women's game doing good on and off the field. And this week we've got Tiana Penitani. I feel like we've started really high as the benchmark for Tiana. Not only is she hot, she's also a really good footy player, which I just think is unfair.
Yes. And she does a lot off the field.
Yes.
Very, very talented and just put together lady.
Well, you'll have a little bit to chat about because you were actually her roomie for all 3 Origin games. Poor Tiana.
Yeah.
But we'll get to chat to her about that. You might have a little bit you can spill on her. She's probably perfect.
I've got absolutely nothing to spill on her.
Okay.
Genuinely, I was looking for something because she's very perfect. Nothing. I'll just say it right now. Absolutely nothing.
Keeley actually came away a little bit depressed because
she realised people could be like that.
Yeah, and she's nothing like that.
Well, can't wait to get stuck into chatting to our guests, and that's all thanks to Westpac. It's going to be a big NRLW season, not only on the field but in the podcast area as well, thanks to Westpac.
Thank you very much, Westpac.
All right, well, we'll waste no time. She needs no introduction. Mrs. Tiana Penitani Gray, welcome to Say Less.
Hello, good morning, ladies.
Morning,
I'm excited. Am I your first guest?
Literally our first guest. I think when did we start this? Maybe 3
years ago?
3 years ago?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Koenig's come on board. She was actually technically our first guest, but she turned into a co-host. So
good they had to keep you.
Yes, that never left.
Oh, so shit, they just couldn't get rid of me.
we kind of all lived together, so we had to bring her along the whole time.
Yeah.
But she's still here. And tell you what, she's been killing it ever since. But anyway.
You have. No, I listen to you guys. It's great. Nice little trio. I love it.
No, but firstly, thank you so much for coming on today because you guys kick off the NRLW tomorrow night against the Eels. How has preseason been coming along? You're the captain of the team. You've got so many big name players for the Sharks, grand finalists last year. How's the preseason been?
Yeah, preseason's been great, thanks. I think the beginning of preseason for us was obviously quite disruptive because of Origin. So there was a handful of us, and it would have been the same for you guys, just jumping in and out of preseason. So I think the first few weeks, the girls really ripped into a lot of hard work without us there. So it was nice to actually get back in around week 4. And join back in and get back into work. Second pre-season of the year, which I was not loving. But but it's been really good. We've attracted some really cool talent in the likes of Tyler King and Shante Kiriaratu, who's in our halves.
Weapons.
Yeah, a couple
You've
of weapons.
You've still got Georgia Henaway.
We've got G, who's in her second year. She debuted last year. So she's grown a lot, and she made her debut for Queensland as well this year. So she's grown heaps over the last 12 months. And then we've got young JC Carter, who I'm really excited about.
Yes, she was at the Knights.
Yes.
Before that.
Yeah,
and then she was a development when I was at the Broncos. So
really?
She's been around for a long time.
How
old is waiting
she?
for her to get her.
She's only early 20s.
Yeah.
She's a baby.
She was playing juniors when.
But she's Ellie 2.0.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have watched that.
They actually are.
Oh my God, Ellie's roped her into TikToks, but she doesn't take much convincing. They are literally the same person.
They look like sisters.
They do. They're like
genuinely.
twins. They're like two little bash
I think Ellie ropes everybody into TikTok, so we'll say.
Yeah.
Even her clients at when she does disability support work. I saw one the other day.
But you should see her and JC pumping around on the fat boy bikes in Cronulla with their helmets on, rocking up to breakfast, just the two
Are
of
they
them
in the
doubled on the
Sharks
fat
kit?
boy. Nah, they're not the full kit wank kids. But they're so funny, perfect pairing, those two being housemates.
So good.
Yeah,
we'll throw it a little bit back because it was earlier. Congratulations on State of Origin.
Oh, yes, thank you.
How good was that to get the win? And also, I think you've played every position in the back line now for not only club but New South Wales. So how's that been?
Yeah, it was really good, Mill. I actually loved being in the halves, but I think I really loved playing under Strangey and just how unique and creative his style of coaching is. There were obviously a lot of questions around me being a centre at club level and then all of a sudden being picked in the halves at State of Origin. But, behind closed doors, we all knew what the plan was and that Jessie was going to lead us out there and be the on-the-ball 7. And it was me and Abby that were just going to complement her and kind of both be swinging both sides. So absolutely loved being closer to the ball. But I think my favourite part of playing 6 was being the third man in defender. I love, defence is a big part of my game. I loved just being closer to the action, having big back rowers like Kezi and Koenig right next to me there, making me feel safe. So, loved the experience and good to finally bring home the trophy and get the win after a couple of years.
Can I ask, so going back to centre, you've been named there for this week. What do you like about centre or prefer about centre than in the 6?
Yeah, I think for me, I love being close to the ball, like playing 6 or even playing 1, just getting early hands on the ball. But I think being a strike centre and playing outside creative halves is what I love and is a big part of my game, but also defending at centre. Like I said, defence is a really big part of my game, and being able to make crucial reads under pressure and protect my halves in that sense is something that I really like. I don't know, I like being in space, and I think at centre you're relying on your halves and your fullback to create that space for you, but when it does open up and when you do get that one-on-one opportunity, like that's what I love. I'm licking my lips at those opportunities.
Do you see yourself going back into 6 or wanting to make that like a positional change in the future? Or?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've always said that I'm open to potentially moving to 6. But in saying that, I do like playing outside good halves, like good 7s and 6s. And if I'm in a team that has good, genuine, creative halves, then I'm very happy to stay at centre. But in terms of like maybe having a little bit more pull on the team and using a bit more footy IQ and being a bit closer to the ball, then it's definitely not something that I'd rule out. But at the moment, I'm very happy more being a strike centre.
Gosh, versatility. Love it. Very open-minded, you are.
Well, Koenig, you're showing a little bit of that versatility. You've played a bit of centre, obviously back row.
Everywhere. Someone said it.
Okay, sorry, I need to address this. She's been going on at training. I'm a backup centre. Everybody's like, you are absolutely not.
Sorry,
the backup
why
option.
not? What, are you the backup centre?
Okay.
I have told
there's other options. Let's just
you
say
this
that.
conversation so many times. Last year, I was the genuine backup centre.
Last year.
On field.
Last year, not this year.
Yeah, well, still, I've played centre.
Are you jealous, Keely?
I've got to give Keely credit though, because in our State of Origin trials, she had to go and play at centre at one point, and she actually carved up, and she made some pretty good one-on-one tackles.
Thank you.
I think she surprised
Nice of
everyone.
you to be able to get there in training.
I wish they would live stream.
Game there.
It was an Origin trial.
Bring out the huddle
NRLW
videos,
game.
Keely, for proof.
She's already got them clipped up. She watches them. She shows them to
It was just
Strangey.
like the whole time, neck D. Just push to the inside, neck D.
Come across. It's actually, okay, sorry, I wasn't going to bring this up, but it is terrifying out there with how much space. Like, you really have to trust the people inside of you.
Yeah. And then when you've got someone like Abby Church who can just like cut shapes with her feet, ridiculous, absolutely break your ankles.
Try being a prop when you have to go short side. That's hard enough. I'm like, okay, flip, okay, but then go back.
I think it would be
don't envy
as
that.
terrifying if you were like as fast as T or like easy.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
When I was out there, I was scared.
T, you got to, lucky enough for you, room with Keely for the 3 Origins. So that's over
very
3 weeks. We've been able to live with Keely for a while now. We're wondering if you picked up any of her habits. Were you on your meds then, Keely?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So how did that go? Because I can imagine, like, T, clean girl aesthetic, everything's gorgeous and packed up and ready. Like, you've got you're up and skincare done, and Keel's like, give us a little rundown how it was.
No, Keely was great. She was a great roomie. We were both
For the entertainment part.
we were both pretty good in terms of like clean girl. Kept our room tidy, but I think
That's really
She must have been trying really hard.
Okay, it's
you barely get
3
through her
weeks
room
at a
today.
time to like
Yeah.
6 months. And don't come into my room uninvited. I've told you that.
I needed to wee.
Why did you pee in my bathroom?
Because I was in the shower.
See,
Nah, she was pretty good. And I think like for us, we would kind of just let our room progressively get really dirty. So on game day, we had something to do, and that was pack our bag, because we've got like a good 12 hours to kill with a night game. So that was tactical. But one thing I did realise about Keels is that she falls asleep watching her phone with headphones on.
So Joe Rogan. Did she listen to Joe Rogan?
Yeah, and Housewives. But she, that I found that so bizarre.
I usually don't wear the headphones. I was being respectful of you.
Okay. I would be like, because I read my Kindle, and I would be reading, and then like I would hear her say something, but it was her sleep talking, and I'd be like, oh, what was that? And then she'd be like, oh, no, that's okay. No, it's all right. Like, in her sleep.
I'm still watching.
I was like, Keeley, are you awake? And then I realised she'd had her headphones on and she'd absolutely crashed out. So I think a couple of times I went over and like locked her phone for her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
The best roomie I've ever had.
And then she wakes up with her phone on like 5%.
Sorry, I'm so type B. I can't.
Yes,
I can't
but
I'm actually offended. I've roomed with you literally every camp since I've ever known.
Okay, but what I will say is we had the same schedule. We were
we were good.
Very on schedule. Get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time. It's just great.
It's always easy. It's hard when you've got an early riser and a sleeper in a room together, and it just
that's where we went wrong.
Right.
Who's the early riser and the sleep-in person?
I was getting up early.
Well, when you don't have to, I was like, having
we slept in quite a bit, girl.
Yeah, but it was still like 8
now you're
o'clock,
sleeping.
8 o'clock is not early.
I don't know.
That is not a sleep in.
I don't know. I sleep in.
Sorry, that is like that's not too early.
We'd have like team walk at 10 and Koenig's like rolled down to brekkie at 9:55.
Tiana, you've come over, and we've seen so many players now come over from rugby sevens. You were probably one of the first players to come over. Brookie Anderson, your teammate at the Sharks, heaps, Talisha Harden, Amy Turner. Like, it's so cool to see how many players came over, a few years ago, but now the influx of players coming over from New Zealand, Aussie Sevens, coming back and forth. Like, what do you think is the biggest challenge coming over from sevens playing rugby league?
Like the biggest difference in both codes? I think for us, like, coming from a sevens background, like for me, it created such a strong physical base for me, because we were had the blessing of being full-time, and that's, I guess, a really big draw card for sevens, is that it's full-time for Aussie sevens, New Zealand sevens, all of those girls. So you're full-time training, and you've got the strength and conditioning coaches that push your body to your greatest limits. So coming over, I had a really good base, but in terms of the actual games and the skill level, they're completely different. Like when you look at rugby sevens, a lot of it is trying to find space and it's running more on the out, and you've got that more lateral movement, trying to get one-on-one, whereas rugby league is very direct and very square. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that you can see more with attack and rugby players, is that they try and kind of skip and look for overs and find the space that way, whereas league is very square and run straight into contact. And that's another thing, is like the contact and the physical element. Rugby sevens is a lot of one-on-one stuff, and then straight to your feet and trying to contest the ruck, whereas rugby league is you're running into at least 2-3
that you're not making a break. You just need to get a quick play of the ball.
100%. And even with that, like I remember my first year when I played the Harvey Norman comp, I would make a tackle and get straight back up to my feet. And they'd be like, slow the ruck down. Like, why are you getting up so quickly?
I was you're making a grouse tackle and you're like, how good? And then you get up and they've got to quick play the ball.
Oh, like we've just lost the play of the ball. Well done. And I'm like, I thought I was like doing really well.
Good technique.
I've definitely noticed that with sevens girls or like rugby union in general, that it's just like reprogramming, or just it's a different tactic. I've definitely noticed that.
It's the complete opposite in rugby. Because like what we were taught at Aussie Sevens is if you're on the ground, you're useless basically. You're no good to me. Whereas rugby league is completely different. So I like
stay down, drive the shoulder in.
I loved that when I came to league. I was like, just lay on them for a couple more seconds.
I feel like because you hear the refs all, like saying move straight away. So like if they're hearing that, you're like, I've got to get up. Like but it's actually you've got a few more. Exactly. One of the players coming over this year that I'm really excited to see, and I compare them to like an Emma Veron, ni Tonagato, is Michaela Brake. You've played, I'm sure you would have played against her. You would have seen plenty of footage of her playing. What can you expect from her?
Yeah, she's going to be an absolute powerhouse. I think when we watched Stacey Flula for the Broncos, the influence that she had on their team playing on the wing, her aerial threat, I think that's similar to what Michaela Brake is going to bring to the game. She's very strong in contact. So she gets you one-on-one. She's super hard to tackle. And like you guys would know, tackling the Sevens girls, they're like rocks.
Little nuggets.
They are so physically strong and lean that they're just all muscle and they're hard to stop. So, yeah, I think for her, she's going to be really powerful in the Warriors' back line, but also a bit of an aerial threat too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're kicking to her in the corners.
Keeley, I will say, although she is small, she is powerful and someone you might actually be taller than. Michaela Brake.
I think you might have her in height.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice to know.
There's not many. I think you have a list of the people you're taller than.
Back to back this week.
You can count them on one hand.
I'm pretty tall for a hooker. Go see the average hooker height. I reckon I'm taller than average hooker in this competition.
Okay, who are you comparing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking straight away Little. I'm thinking Ebony Pryor. I'm thinking Emma Manselman.
Are you taller than Emma?
Are you taller or you're just a little heavier?
Don't you be talking about heavy right now.
I've got an excuse. I'm pregnant. But also, actually, on that, Keeley was doing some Wikipedia search on you last night. She clearly doesn't know you well enough. And it came up, it said that you were 70 kilos. And she's like, Tiana's not 70 kilos. What is your infatuation with weight? She fat shames me all the time.
No, that's actually incorrect. I'm not 70 kilos.
Yeah, well, she knew that.
I changed it for you in there. 85.
She watches you weigh in the mornings in camp.
She's like,
So I made that little adjustment for you on Wikipedia.
Thanks so much, Joel. Actually, no, funny. I had a bit of a crash out last week. Pre-trial, we have to weigh in so we see how much we've lost in a game to replace it with fluids. Anyway, my playing weight at the moment is about between 74 and 76. And I weighed in at 78 and I had a fucking meltdown to my strength and conditioning coach. I was like, what have you done to me? Like, I put on 3 kilos. Like, this is ridiculous.
You would have had like something in your pocket or something.
I said to my nutritionist, can you send me for a DEXA scan? Because I was like fully freaking out.
I am not touching a weight again.
Came back. I'm actually not. I'm 75 kilos.
The
scales were heavy.
Nice.
The scales were broken. So
You know what? I always just put it down to that.
Yeah. Oh, scales
Every single time.
Our scales in the Coogee house. Oh, they're broken again.
Jeez, what's going on with these scales?
Oh,
But
God.
no, I'm not 70 kilos. Those days are long gone. That was my sevens playing weight, 70. I had to
Isn't
put on
that
a bit of
crazy
weight coming to the league.
Oh, did they actually give you like, you cannot play heavier than this kind of thing?
Yeah, I was one of the bigger girls playing at 70. Like, obviously, you had your
That's
Shannon
like
Harries
ragdoll
and
stuff.
Shanies, and they were more like the mid-70s, high 70s, but they were like strong forwards, like genuine props. Whereas I was a fast forward, so like could play on the wing or could play could pack scrums. But I think most of the girls averaged around mid-60s to high 60s.
Yeah.
And for me, my heaviest playing weight at sevens would have been 71, I reckon.
yeah.
But then when I came to league,
Keeley,
the
that's
Jillaroos
be
stuff,
done.
Yeah.
they told me I had to put on at least 3-4 kilos to be able to be an outside back in rugby league.
It's crazy. It's just such different demand. Like you actually can't have extra weight on you in sevens.
No,
Like
you
it's just
can't.
useless for what you need in sevens.
But
Whereas
if you don't in rugby league, you get snapped in half.
exactly.
Even
Yardage carries.
I play at like 85. I like playing at 85.
Yeah.
Kearney, where it's similar kind of weight.
75.
Oh, please. But I remember like one year when I was getting married, 2023.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I was only a couple of kilos lighter because I was thinking shred for the wed.
Yeah.
And I got ragdolled. I was so sore every game. It was
can
just
feel
like,
it.
you can feel it. You
Yeah.
can't, you actually need weight.
Yeah.
You know, if
In
you
contact.
can,
You need
in
the weight
contact.
behind you. That's
Yeah.
when I feel it. If I'm too light, I'm like, you're not making much of an impact in the line.
100%.
Just on that, not on the weight topic, but you've been playing, you're back in the Australian squad, absolutely killing it. I think you played multiple positions playing for Jillaroos last year as well, but the year before you represented Tonga.
Yeah.
What was that like to do that and to do it alongside your sister as well?
Yeah, that was probably one of my milestone moments in my career. I think it was so memorable, and it's something that I'd always wanted to do, but had never had the opportunity in either sevens or league. And I remember, I think maybe a year prior to that, the Tonga girls played a test against the Kiwi Ferns, but we were in Origin camp. And I remember saying, like, Mimes and I spoke about it, and we were like, oh my God, if the opportunity ever comes again, like, I would absolutely love to be there, because my sister came home raving about the experience and how connected to culture she felt, and just how much of a special experience it was. So when the opportunity arose in 2023, I was like, this could be like my only window that I can do it. So I decided to go across, and I think for me it was so unique because it was nothing like I'd ever experienced before, you know, like speaking the language, learning the language. It was a really traditional camp, so we would do our lotu in the morning, which is the prayer. We were with the Tonga Amen as well in camp, so we would all go into our team room, sit there and do prayer in the morning for breakfast, and then on the way to training we would sing the Tongan hymns, and just do a lot of culture-rich stuff, which was something that I'd not ever experienced before, and it made me feel really close to my dad and my dad's family, and to be able to lead those girls and play in front of a lot of family I hadn't seen in a long time in New Zealand was very emotional for me, but it was also really special, something that I'll never forget.
So good. It gives me goosebumps.
I know.
Like that's what footy's all about, and when it can really bring that out, and like to do that with Tash, like to play. What's it like to play? You got to play with her, but what's it like to play against her?
It's a little bit scary. She's a bit crazy. Like, she's such a softie off the field, but on the field, like, she gets crazy eyes. And I remember when I played against her in the last round last season against the Tigers, I remember when she came on the field early, Sulla had got a HIA, and Tash was Sulla's sub. So
I remember this game.
Yeah, she ran on, and there was I think there was a scrum that I was defending. Or like they were in yardage or something, and she's lined up, her and Christian. She's yelling at Christian. She's like, Christian, come with me. We're running over so-and-so in the line. And I think it was my halfback, and I'm looking at my half going, squeeze up. She just had this crazy look on her face. And like she said to me before the game, she's like, you know, when I get the ball, I'm running straight at you. She's like, I'm going to beeline out to the centres and I'm coming straight for you. I was like, oh my God, you crazy bitch. What have I done? Like, I've created this monster. But no, it's the best.
That's
like,
respect. That's
it
so
is
good.
respect. Yeah.
What's the household like with your family? Who supports who when you guys come up against each other? Or is it just like,
Surely little sister, everybody.
It's so 50-50. Like,
families waving the white flag?
Yeah, 100%. I think like my mum had like I think she had a Tigers hat and a Sharks scarf or something on.
Have to do the half jersey.
The half
I remember
jersey,
there's some families that have done that.
Do that, yeah.
She's at the Titans this year.
She is, yeah. So she moved up to the Goldie with her partner Brock. And he made his NRL debut.
So good.
This year. So like things happened really quickly for them. And yeah, like it was a little bit tricky. She didn't want to leave the Tigers, but the way things transpired, Brock did his ACL and was up there alone and whatnot.
Needs support.
Yeah, needed the support, and I think they're going to base themselves up there for a few years now.
So good, and what a place to live too.
Not a bad spot.
Oh my God, I love it. Every time I go see her, I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah, I feel like they have such a good crew up there. I can really see her fitting in, like off field really well.
Yeah,
I feel like she'll play her best footy up there 100%. From an external view.
She seems that way. She went straight into their camp. I think they didn't do an army camp, but like something gruesome like that.
Yeah.
She went straight in the weekend that she moved back up there, and really immersed herself in the team and got along with all the girls really well. And they've got such a great culture up there, and like, you know, awesome leaders and girls in their team. Everyone's pretty laid back and easygoing. So she's loving it.
Speaking of off the field, one of the things that we love to touch on that Westpac support us with, because we're part-time athletes, you know, they're supporting us on the field but off the field as well. And you are probably one of, if not the busiest people I know. I don't know how you get it all done. And the other thing that we mentioned before you got here was not only are you such a good footy player, you're so good at what you do with your work off the field as well, but you're also hot, and that's 3 from 3. And I just don't feel like you're allowed 2 from 3 maybe, but I think the 3 from 3, like, there's not many people doing it, but off the field you work with Fox Sports doing presenting. You've done that for years with rugby as well, commentating games, covering not only NRLW but NRL. You're a co-host of that Pacific Sports show. I know you do some stuff with the wellbeing with the juniors coming through. What else? Tell us. I mean, you're
coaching endeavour.
Yeah. How do you find the time, and what do you love about it all? And do you actually like this stage of being a part-time athlete, so you get to be able to immerse yourself in that off the field stuff?
Yeah, I definitely do. It's something that I probably always say. I know the game is moving full time, and it's only around the corner that the game's going to go full time. But I really love the fact that we are part-time at the moment, because we can still have lives and careers outside of footy. And I know there's pros and cons to both, but
got to make the most of the opportunity.
100%. And I've been full-time I was full-time for a long time with sevens. I know what that feels like, and it can become very insular, and your whole world is consumed by your craft. But you basically rattled it all off. That's all I do. And I mean, it sounds a lot busier than what it is. But I think the beauty of having multiple things going at once just means that I never get bored, and I have time midweek to be able to do stuff like this. And I do a lot of freelance stuff with Fox that I've taken on more and more each year, which has been unreal. Love the guys there, and I host that Pacific Sports show at ABC. We record once a week, so that's pretty cruisy, but that's like such a great passion project for me and Sammy Wykes and our crew there. We get to share the most incredible stories about athletes from the Pacific. And what else do I do? I coach the Endeavour girls with Corbin Baxter at Endeavour Sports High. So we're growing their program slowly there, the rugby league girls, and absolutely love that. Love giving back to the next gen, and just seeing, their faces light up when they learn a new skill or when they do something that they thought that they couldn't do. I just find that priceless. What else do I do?
The wellbeing.
Oh yeah, I did wellbeing. I did wellbeing early last year. I'm studying the elite athlete wellbeing cert for at the moment. But love that space too. I looked after the junior rep Sharks girls as they were looking for an interim wellbeing manager for us, and love the exposure there, and you get to kind of see all things outside of high performance. Because obviously wellbeing is focusing on everything else but the high performance stuff. So I really enjoyed that space, and again, it's giving back to the younger girls and being someone, I guess an anchor for those girls.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you can help so much with because of your experience with sevens. You would have been straight from school into a high performance full-time program in school. And you're probably that person that you wish you had, I know that sounds
that's
a
actually
bit cliche,
that's exactly what I say.
I know that the sevens was very cutthroat, through that time when it was becoming an Olympic sport, and you were a part of that. So it's very fitting, and they're very lucky to have you.
I think that's what I always say is I try and be in those roles. I try and be the person that I never had growing up, because it was so new. It was such a new concept, was women's footy and women's sport, right? It was still kind of taking off the ground. So try and have that in the back of my mind, just being that mentor or just that support person or whatever that is. And I'm like that with my younger girls in our squad as well.
You guys can jump in any time, but I was going to ask you, you're also a beautician, just ridiculous.
I'm a dermal therapist by trade.
Sorry, that's it.
Beautician. I specialize in skin, but I was really busy when I was working in a clinic in Cronulla. That's what was kind of making me run off my feet, but had to give that up until post footy, just because it's so much to juggle managing clinic. But that's probably one of my passions is skincare, and I think the motivation behind that was I had really bad acne when I was quite young. When I was a teenager in year 8, year 9, year 10, typically around that age is where you kind of really suffer with acne. But I think that really motivated me and a passion inside me to just learn about it. And in clinic, it was more just wanting to make people feel beautiful in their own skin. So
I know that in camp she's always like, Tiana, what should we use? What should we do?
Honestly,
Let's
even
go
last
shopping.
camp, yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm always having consultations with girls.
You're like, I need to start charging for these.
No, well, I think I was like, I will come in clinic and pay you, and I'm like, I don't have a clinic at the moment, but like, step into my office.
You used to
come
bring
and sit at dinner
eyebrow
with
wax
me.
as well, and we're like booking in like 15-minute time slots, and we'd go and get our eyebrows waxed before the game.
So if you weren't playing footy, do you think that's what you would be doing right now?
Yeah, I think that's one of the directions I'm going to go down. It'll be one of the things that I do is I'd love to open up a clinic one day.
You're just going to have a lot of variety, do you think, after footy? Do you like
think
that?
So I do.
The change and...
I don't like just working one job. I don't like, 5 days a week, 9 to 5. It's not my gig. I've been there, done that in a few jobs, and I do like dabbling. It's sometimes a little more stressful, and some weeks are a lot busier than others.
variation.
It does, yeah. It keeps the mind ticking over, and yeah.
Okay, well, I have another off-field question. All right, back to hosting.
Sure.
Okay, if you could host any reality TV show on earth, what would be your dream show to host?
My
I'm talking
dream
like
show to
Love
host.
Island, Housewives, anything at all.
If you don't pick Housewives, she'll say it's wrong.
No, you didn't pick anything.
Oh my God. I think Love Island would be pretty cool, but I would probably say Real Housewives of Sydney. And Melbourne. I loved the Sydney and Melbourne ones.
You could be on the show, not hosting it.
Oh my God, I'm not rich in the slightest. But no, I
make it.
remember I did like a binge premiere with the Real Housewives of Sydney, and oh my God, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, they are divas and just so funny. And the way they are on screen is exactly how they are off screen as well. And like the little bit of tension between some of them. I was like eating it up. But yeah, I think just to be a fly on the wall while the housewives are filming would be so fun.
And you know what else about hosting it? Like the Housewives is the host can ask like the most rogue questions and nobody bites back at the host.
Yeah.
So they
just
usually
argue with
just
each other.
like fire off at everybody and nobody says anything back to them. So
What would be your
protected.
dream?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Housewives for
It's your
sure.
dream.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
For
she wants it to be asked to back to
No,
her.
I can't even do a read of like full words. So I'd be reading my palm cards like, Alana, when she called you a bitch. Bitch, how did you respond? So no, I would dream that. Couldn't do it.
Probably be like,
With your popcorn.
So good.
Just back to, I guess it's off the field, but it's rugby league as well. The new rugby league game cover.
Yes.
Thoughts on that?
I saw that this morning.
Yeah, that's sick.
When the NRL asked me about it, I thought it was a G up. I was like, "Are you serious?" But no, it's so cool. I think is it the first cover that we've got NRLW and NRL on? Yeah, it's epic. I mean, they could have chosen a handful of other players, but
Like I said, 3 from 3.
I'm going to throw kindest person as well.
Yeah,
So
sorry, 4 from 4. Can we keep going? Best big sister.
guys, strong. But no, that's epic. I mean, I saw the cover come out today, I think it was. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is anyone
You
like,
set the bar real high that like we all look like that.
thank you very much. I'll take it.
No, I didn't love the shot, but it's all good.
Royalties.
Who has good action shots? Yeah, it's
Keeley Davis does, to tell you.
Shut up over there.
Keels, you have a question for Tiana?
Another not really related to anything, but do you ever get told you look like a celebrity?
Who's your doppelganger?
Who's your doppelganger? I thought that was the
There we
question.
go. Let me
I
reword
feel like
that.
I have a niche for picking doppelgangers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask everybody who comes in, have you been told you?
Not
you look like a
really. I don't know. I will say though, I had a little trip down memory lane the other day. So I've been watching the Fast and Furious movies, just like started from 1 and making my way to whatever number it is. And Tokyo Drift. Do you guys ever remember the girl who's in Tokyo Drift?
Which one?
I need to get her up.
We'll find her.
We'll find her.
We'll get a little, Charlie will get a little insert of her.
Yeah, when I was in high school, so
That's
many
what you look
people
like?
used to say, "Oh my God, you look exactly
Really?
like her." Because I was
The
a little
Asian
bit
one?
chubbier in high school.
The Asian one?
No, not her.
Nice, Keeley.
No, she's Australian. She's got an Australian accent.
I need to know. Well, lucky for
Well,
you,
Keely's
also
actually found your doppelganger.
Oh, and she's a housewife, isn't she?
Yes.
She's shown
She's
me.
a TV host. Looks exactly like you. Ooh.
Yeah, she looks a lot
Different in that
paler
photo.
now.
Yeah,
but
when she was young.
Look at her in the Tokyo Drift movies, and like in high school, I used to get that a lot.
Well,
Keely's found
honestly,
it.
this
It's not
lady
good
I've
enough.
showed you,
She's got-
but she is, in some ways, literally, she
Yeah,
hosts a TV show
I see
too.
it.
Yeah.
The exact same. But then from other angles, nothing
also
alike.
looks AI'd, so
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
a blurry photo.
Yeah.
We'll
I see
look
it, and
up.
like I see, because I've seen, I think little clips of her on TikTok. I think
Yeah.
I looked her up, and
Speaking.
like her mannerisms, I can see it.
Yeah.
I see the vision.
Anyway, that's
I'll claim
my
that.
input.
what?
Oh, you sorry.
Lily's just pointing at Kodik like, nah.
You stole all my questions. And you,
Sorry, just jump. Sorry. I don't like there being an awkward space.
okay, well,
Let's wrap it up,
you've
I
left me with
reckon.
nothing.
Oh, sorry.
Tiana's got a big day tomorrow,
Yes.
round
Have
one,
you got
and Captain's Run tonight.
Yes, Captain's Run tonight. Yep.
I cannot believe you've come out on Captain's Run. You know,
Anything
too
for you
good to
guys?
us. Seriously, well,
that.
I'm going to wrap us up if that's all right. Is that all right, Charlie? Beautiful, thank you. Well, Tiana Penitani, no hyphen, Gray. No hyphen there.
No hyphen. Don't like the
Yes.
hyphen.
Also, it's your first year playing with that last name. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. I've had a lot of people ask me if I recently got married, and no, guys, I got married end of 2022, but my passport was expiring, so I thought if not now, then never.
Timing, yes.
Yeah, so I had to get a new passport this year, so I decided to change it in January because I
Yeah.
was just putting off the paperwork, even though it's not even that hard. When I finally did it, I was like, wow, it was actually really easy. But yeah,
It's
Penitani
sick.
Gray.
I love it. Well, thank you very much for coming in. We really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
taking the time. I feel like you've
Pleasure.
set the bar really, really high. Really high. Anyway,
For our future guests.
for our future, I was talking about for us. She's done a way better job. Anyway, no. Good luck for the season.
Thanks. You
Yes,
too.
and good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, gals. Good luck this weekend against the Waz.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
So round one coming up, we're going to do Westpac winners. So just quickly speaking about who we think will win the game for the week.
Yep.
First game kicking us off. Sharks home game, 7:45 Thursday night. I'm tipping the Sharkies. They're obviously very, very similar squad to last year, and I think they'll just build off the back
I think
of
they're
that.
almost stronger than last year. You guys played them in a trial not long ago, and that was pretty evenly matched. And they're obviously coming off the grand final from last year as well. So I'm tipping the Sharks for that one.
I'm tipping the Sharks as well versus Eels. I think they've got a bit more experience in there. I think Eels will give them a good run. They're always physical, but I think Sharks will get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it being wet will tighten it up. All right, game 2, Friday, the 4th of July. Bulldogs home game at 5:40 v the Knights.
First time they're playing, which is so exciting. And it's a double header. The men play as well. So
They're talking about trying to break the record
for a women's game.
for a women's game. So hopefully a lot of the doggies, obviously in the men's comp, they're going really, really well, massive fan base. So if you're there, can get there early, go down, support the women, first ever game, making history.
So I think because it's going to be such a big day, big night, Bulldogs are going to get the win. It'll be a really tough game, but I just think the Bulldogs, they have, I feel like they've got a real good culture going on at the moment, and they're just going to start off with a bang.
Yeah, I think Bulldogs will start off really strong. Got a real physical team, obviously super energetic, but I think the experience of the Knights will get them home.
Yeah.
But I do think Bulldogs looked unreal in their trial, and I think they'll carry that on. But I think Knights will just be too classy and finish it off. But close game.
I think this one will be close, especially because we don't know much about the Dogs, but they've just got a real dog pack.
Yeah, they do.
If you were to pick a team for the Bulldogs, this is the
Yeah.
team where you're just like, oh, we've got the Bull. I feel like they're that type of team.
Yeah.
I honestly think that'll be the game of the round.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Knights, Bulldogs. Obviously, Bo Teal is making her debut with the Knights. Tamika's no longer there. They've got a bit of no Caitlin Johnson. She's at the Sharks. So So a lot of reshuffling for the Knights. I think it'll be close, but like you said, I think Jessie Southwell, her experience will come through, and
so you're tipping Knights.
I'm tipping Knights for that one.
But very close game.
But close one.
Next game, Saturday the 5th of July, 12:45, Broncos home game. We got Broncos v Tigers. I'm tipping the Bronx. I feel like similar situations to the Sharks. They had a really good season last year and they'll just build off the back. It's the good part of having teams that stay together for a while. I think the inclusion of Tamika as well only makes them stronger. So I think they'll be really hard to beat.
Yeah, I think the same. Bronx just have that experience, and I feel like now that Meeks is back there, it's just that old sort of connection that they had a few years ago, and I think they're all going to be really excited to play with each other.
100%. Meeks has been coming back from that injury as well. She didn't play Game 3 Origin, so good to see she's been named, and plenty of players wanting to, a lot of those girls play in the Origin for Queensland, so they will be wanting to put on a dominant performance, come out, set the bar high under coach Scotty Prince. And I just feel like West Tigers will take a little bit to find their feet, only because they've lost some integral players, part of their team. Leanne Tafonga has gone to the Raiders. Bo Till, as we spoke about. There's Natasha Penitani, she's gone up to the Titans. There's a few players that have left where I just think it'll take those new ones coming through a little while to find their feet.
Yeah, I agree. Next game on the Saturday is Raiders v Dragons, and this is at GIO Stadium. This is a hard one to tip, I reckon. I think they'll be very similar. It's hard to part between them. I think Dragons under Crossy now, new coach down there. I think they'll be super energised having a new coach, but Raiders are super hard to beat at home. I might just go Dragons, but I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, you know what though? Raiders have so much experience.
What's your final answer? What is your final answer?
Raiders bring it home.
Oh, you've switched.
Yeah, I have. Raiders bring it home, but it's going to be really tight, and I think Dragons will score a few really good tries.
I'm on the same. Like, I think this one's going to be really hard. I think Raiders are the hardest team to beat at home. It's actually really intimidating going down there
to Canberra,
and also the long drive, the long travel. It's a double header, that game as well. So I think the fans are going to really get around it. But I am seeing really big things for Dragons. I'm really excited to see Casey Ray in the halves. Hopefully she solidifies that position. I know she was jumping around a couple of positions last year. So being able to get some consistency in there. So I'm going to say Dragons just because.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like
just
it.
for a little change.
No, well, I went down and did a little piece with the Dragons because Volker's been training them with their wrestling, which is so cool. Like, they've had Alex Volkanovski, like, doing wrestling with them.
Ridiculous.
Weekly leading into this. So I'm excited to see how that comes into play. I do think this will, we've said every game's going to be so close, but I genuinely think this one will be a really tough one.
Yeah.
Because Dragons have got such a new look team to last year. They've lost one of their halves in Tyler Nathan King. They've got
new coach. They're going to play a completely different style.
Racine McGregor's still there and Tegan Berry's still there. But apart from that, a lot of them have gone to the Bulldogs, to be fair. So I'm going to back Raiders just for their toughness down in Canberra.
I think
in round
so.
one.
I can't see them getting beat at home. That's the only thing. Okay, last game for the Saturday. Got a Super Saturday. Cowboys v Titans, and that is a Cowboys home game. Also another tough one to pick, literally because we've had no footy to watch. I'm going to go Cows on this one.
Right.
I think they've been working really hard as of all teams, but I just like Cows on this one.
Yep.
Don't know why. Just really like it.
Yeah, well, I think they've got some new additions. You know, Abigail Roach will be very interesting to see in the Cows.
Their depth's quite good this year. Very good.
Yes, it is. But I think I'm going to go with Titans here and really keen to see Tash Penitani come in and
Big Chapo.
Chapo at the back.
At fullback. I'm really excited for her. I think
a long range. I can already see her legs like making 5 meters every
She's
tackle.
actually very hard to tackle one-on-one. She's one of the strongest players I've ever had to come up against.
Just ask Tamika.
Seriously. And so I think she'll be really dangerous out on the sweep and just do, new goal for her. So really excited. I'm gonna tip Titans on this one.
Actually, sorry, just on that, that matchup with the fullbacks.
Yes, Jakaya
and Chapo. Both playing,
so competitive too.
Yeah, so competitive. Very different players, but they're both first time at fullback this year in this comp. So I'm just like
with Ivania Polite obviously out with being pregnant. Opens up that spot up the back and allows Chapo to open up her game as well and play on both sides of the field, which I'm really excited about. I'm backing Titans as well. I just think, Georgia Hale in the middle, Loz Brown, wherever she ends up, she plays 7, but if she goes into 9 and things change around, she's such a weapon everywhere. And then Chapo at the back, I really like them.
First game back from her shoulder,
so Shaylee Bent,
one of her first games back. So I'm actually really excited to see how she'll rip into.
Yep. Well, last game's us, but we're obviously not going to be tipping that. So that wraps us up.
But I am really excited. We'll just touch on you guys are playing the Warriors on Sunday at Allianz Stadium. I am so excited to not only watch you guys, but to watch the Warriors. No matter who they were playing round 1, I was so excited. I think I saw a team list, and apart from their captain, Appy Nichols, everybody is making either their NRLW debut, or their club debut. So it's such a big change for them since, they were in the comp a few years ago under coach Ronnie Griffiths. And it's just like the unknown. We don't know what to expect. And I can't wait to see what players shine from that, because we genuinely haven't seen them play.
That's the hardest thing, because they didn't play a trial.
How's the video been this week?
Absolute crickets, but it's really exciting. I think they've got some really good players that have come from Sevens and Union there. Their Union comp over in New Zealand's really, really good. So I think it's just going to be some quality athletes, and it'll be a really, really tough game.
Can't wait. Round 1 of NRLW just around the corner. Thank you so much to Westpac for bringing the footy, not only through the NRL, but through the NRLW as well, both on and off the field. We love and appreciate you very much.
Okay, we said we're going to do it every week, and we're sticking with it. So recommendations of the week. I'll kick us off. So I have no idea about my ancestry history. Oh my gosh. So I've been really obsessed with it lately, and I have just done my it's actually a spit in a tube. And I'm going to find out my ancestry.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
That is
really excited.
I've
so that's my recommendation. If you feel like you don't really know much.
Is that through ancestry.com?
Yeah, she's been on a massive tangent in the last few weeks.
Yeah, found out a lot, but
her family came on the first fleet. Convicts.
One side. I'll tell you all about it later. But anyway, pretty crazy stuff. The other side, unsure. So I'm really hoping, spit in this tube, a little bit of culture will pop up. Like
I love
5% something. Yeah.
Who can I play for?
Yeah. No. Just a little bit of something. Yeah.
Yes. No, it's good to know.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation. If you feel like you don't really know much about your family history and you want to have a look, get an ancestry test, do your little spit in the tube, and he'll tell you.
Nice. Well, my reco for the week is I was back home on the Central Coast all weekend, watched my sister play footy, but I went out for dinner with my friends at the Ark in Terrigal, which I've never ate there before, but it was some of the best food I've ever had.
Sunny Coast listeners?
Sunny Coast.
What food is it?
It's just like really nice dining food, like entrees. Millie, you would love it. I kept thinking that the whole time.
Okay, what's dining food though?
Just it's not like
nice share
cuisine.
food,
like you share food,
like burrata,
for example.
Okay.
I don't even think there was burrata. Like I had these noodle prawn, crispy noodle prawn things as an entree, and like ceviche, cauliflower flowers. Like it was just really, really good. Yeah.
Okay, my recommendation for the week is really boring, but it's one of those things you've just got to do, okay? After 1.5 years of not wearing my retainer from when I had Invisalign, I've just started wearing it in the last week, and I've noticed my teeth are straighter. So if you have had braces or Invisalign, it's not too late. I know it is too late. It was so painful. No, mine didn't. I had to wear it for like 10 minutes at a time at the start because it was so painful.
Mine are cracked.
Oh, you might have to go back to the dentist then, but it's so worth it because it's just so much work that gets undone if you're not wearing it.
Just get a wire. That's my recommendation.
I've got the wire as well, but they do move. Do you not have the Thingos.
You've complained about your teeth moving.
Only because my wire's broken. Anyway.
Recommendation, get your wire fixed.
Yeah. Okay, I will get my wire fixed. I got to get my wisdom teeth out.
I wasn't yelling. I was
sorry.
I was just saying, maybe this is your next week's recommendation.
I can't get the wire fixed and took the teeth out, Anyway.
All right. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another guest. Thanks to Westpac.